if there's an area in your life that you want to change, how coachable are you? If you don't like how things are, that means you have to change something. Does that make sense? So are you coachable? When I worked at Bose Corporation, I worked and knew, not that we hung out or anything, but knew Dr. Amar Bose. Dr. Amar Bose is a founder of Bose Corporation. He's the one that designed the Bose Wave radio, the Bose acoustic noise canceling headsets. He was a brilliant man. He was a professor at MIT. And he told me this story, and I asked for permission to retell it. But he told me this story of two students that he had. Both of them were undergrads at MIT. Both of them brilliant. And they their MIT had a contract where they were doing an internship over the summer. Both of them at the same job. Just before the job started, the company lost a huge government contract. And what they were supposed to be working on with their MIT brilliant brains went away. But the company had a contract with MIT that they had to give them an internship. This was their job. They both stood at the end of a conveyor belt. And there were microprocessors put on the conveyor belt and came towards them. At the end of the conveyor belt, they picked up the microprocessor, put it on this tester. If it was green, it went over here. If it was red, it went over here in a different basket. All day long. MIT grads. Or undergrads, okay? Well, Dr. Bose understood what the problem was and knew what the situation was. So he flew down there to this company in the South and pulled them both aside and had separate meetings with them. The first student came in and said, oh, Dr. Bose, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. You know what I do? You know what I do? All day long, I sit at the end of a conveyor belt and I test them, and it's frustrating. You got to do something. This is ridiculous. I mean, how can I learn anything? Dr. Bose sat and listened and understood the frustration of the student. That student left. The next student came in. Said, Dr. Bose, I got to tell you, sitting at the end of a conveyor belt all day long gets a little frustrating. But I thought to myself, how could I make the most of this? What could I do with this situation? So I decided that after 2 or 3 days, I went to my boss. And I asked him if I could take home the bad microprocessors and some tools to open them up and dissect them and work on them. Dr. Bose, I learned so much, more than I have at MIT. Wow. What was the difference? Difference is mindset. Dr. Bose said, you know what? I don't know whatever happened to those two students, but I guarantee you this. I know which way their careers went. It didn't matter that they were brilliant. The mindset was more important than the brilliance.